Good day. I am Robert Silverstein, MD, for the Preventive Medicine Center. We hope you're having a happy holiday season. And if you have any questions, please call me. Now, there's a particular reason why I'm dressed the way I am. Usually I come in with a tie on, cufflinks, and so on. And I try to look my very best, but today I have the day off. So I've come to do this show. And this is one of the things I have talked about is this bamboo t-shirt. Now these tend not to be inexpensive, but they feel so good on and they're so comfortable and they fit so well. They're a little bit stretchy, but they are in natural fiber, and I do believe that natural fibers are important. I recommend bamboo, wool, linen, cotton, cashmere, and only the natural fibers. I believe that the synthetic fibers actually set up electrical fields that don't work well with the human body. Basically, if you take a look at all the things I say, whether there is proof for my statement or not, as there's very little proof about what I said about the synthetic, but if you take a look at what I say, I always try to tell you to be natural. In other words, don't get the vitamin and diet enhanced drinks. Drink water or weak tea. I'm not even for juice. I'm not telling you that juice is bad for you, but your pediatricians and your dentists will tell you that it's better not to feed your children juice than it is to feed your children juice. Certainly, everything comes all the way from terrible to not good to okay, or neutral, and then it gets to be a little bit good and then quite a bit good. And I think water and weak herb tea from a filtered source or from a spring source is probably the best thing you can do, as long as you don't buy it in a plastic bottle that lets leach out what's called BPA, bisphenol A, which is cancer producing and is probably related, if not to only cancer of the breast, and possibly also to cancer of the prostate. So be as natural as possible is the idea of the Preventive Medicine Center. Breathe right, that's clean air. I understand we live in Hartford and coming by clean air is difficult, but at least don't add cigarette smoke to it. Don't add kerosene smoke to it. Drink clean water, breathe, drink, eat. Mostly a whole foods diet that I use the phrase foods as they grow in the field. I was listening to Where We Live today, which was on National Public Radio, and I tried to call in and couldn't get call in. There was a woman who was the first person to speak, and she said that she was able to get by on $12 a week for foods. And when you asked her what her foods were, they were rice and beans. Exactly what I recommend. If you want the healthiest diet of all, do not be thinking in terms of fish and chicken and meat and cheese and eggs and yogurt and ice cream and cakes and cookies and veal and lamb and pork and hamburger and salami and bologna and bacon and sausage. Instead, be thinking in terms of rice, beans, vegetables, fruit, and a small handful, not a big handful, a small handful of nuts and seeds. And then you have with that wild fish or free-range chicken or cage-free eggs or bison or elk, and all of those are available locally. The size of your palm, the size of your palm, that's the palm, that height, that width, that thickness, not more than twice a week, as long as you have essentially no fat on your body. And what does that statement mean? What that statement means is that when you look down at your abdomen, can you see where the muscles meet the muscles? Because there's an absence of fat under the skin. That is the ideal human design. You can say evolution, you can call it God-given, but whatever it is, if you want the least amount of disease and the most amount of health, then what you want to do is eat those unprocessed and ideally organic. I understand organic can be more expensive, but if you can't get the organic, then go with white rice, go with packaged beans, canned beans, rice, beans, vegetables, fruit, nuts, and seeds. If you're overweight, you don't need the rice, and you can get by on the vegetables and the beans. And yes, fruit is nice, but you don't have to have that either. Although I will say that eating berries in particular can have a beneficial effect on blood pressure. So that is the fruit of choice, berries. You can buy them at this time of the year in the frozen form, as they are not so expensive. But if you buy them fresh, they're very expensive because I think they come from Australia or Chile, somewhere on the other side of the world. Now, let us talk about certain things. Let's get started with this. This is from an antique show, this bag. You know, when you go shopping these days, you want to have something to carry your vegetables and fruits in. And if you read what this says, I Am Gallery, Damascus and Dubai. And this was given out in Dubai, which is over there by Saudi Arabia, and it was given by this I Am Gallery, which is an art gallery from Dubai and Damascus, Syria. So that was sent to me by a friend, and I think that's very clever. Next, I want to show you something that I'm using a lot. And this is called the Eden Pure, and it's a quartz heater. You've probably seen the infomercials on TV. That's where I saw it. And I picked this up. It's expensive. It's like $400 or $300. I think you can get it for $300. If you call them up at 1-800-237-5033 and say, I want one of these things for around $329 because Dr. Silverstein said on TV that they are being sold for that. And if you run into any problems, you give me a call and I'll try to help you out. But this will help you cut down on your oil, cut down on your electricity, cut down on your gas heating, is my belief. I have not yet seen my gas bill this year compared to last year, and I have not yet seen my electric bill this year compared to last year for the past month. And I've been running this for more than a month now to heat the area that I live in. This is for 1,000 square feet. It's about foot and a half wide, 2.5 feet tall, and about 2.5 feet long. So it's not small. It's not one of those little tiny quartz heaters. This one is good size. I don't think you can get a sense of that. You could if you saw the chair. But I think I gave you about the right dimensions. So this is the Gen 3. Yes, Gen 3. Okay. Now I want to talk about this, also in keeping warm. This is long underwear that I bought at REI. You can get long underwear in lots of places, probably even Marshall's. And we're going to talk about Marshall's in a minute, but this came from REI. And let's see what the specs are on this. Inner layer 100 polyester, outer layer 55% polyester, 45% merino wool. Well, it is very soft. It doesn't feel woolly at all. It's extremely comfortable, and it really does keep you warm. Now, you may say, well, I already know that. Well, I'm just encouraging you to wear those if you're one of those cold people during the winter. Now, I mentioned Marshall's, and hopefully you'll see this before Christmas. This is not inexpensive. This is a 2-ply cashmere sweater that was sold for around $69 at Marshall's. As you can see, it unzips down. It is so soft and such a lovely color and really nice and exceedingly warm. And I wear that around the house. I'm wearing a different colored sweater of that same variety today that I took off in order to show you my bamboo t-shirt. You can also get bamboo towels. I don't know if you can get bamboo bedding. If I could find a bath sheet that was bamboo, I would order it or buy it. I tried putting that into Google and I got a lot of choices, obviously, but I had a hard time finding a bath sheet. They were mostly bath towels.